Hi, it's me, RachaelLyn, and today is Teaching Tuesday. It's been a while since I've done a Teaching Tuesday, but I actually had something really cool that I had to show you. I'm trying something new with turning off one light. Hopefully you can see me and you can see all of the projects. I just feel like they're really harsh with the fluorescent lights and at least on the camera. So anyway, here we go. Today, I look a little different. I'm wearing braids. My kids came in and, a plaid shirt. And my kids came in today and one of them goes, "You look like a farmer." And I said, exactly. Today was Farm Fun Day, and we did all kinds of things to celebrate the farm and to learn about the farm and different animals on the farm. And so I wanted to show you all of the things that we did for that. If you saw my Apple Fun Day video, then you know about how we did all kinds of things for apples and to celebrate Johnny Appleseed and just apples in general. And we kind of did the same thing, but this was all about the farm. So I had parents come in, they helped me out with different stations, and I'm about to show you all the different stations and what we did. And so here we go. All of my groups, I put, all of my stations I put in the baskets so that they had all the supplies I needed. Everything's already been put away because my assistant is just absolutely fantastic. So I just pulled out the bare essentials just to show you, but everything they needed was in these baskets. All the supplies, so glue, the different construction paper that they needed, anything that they needed, it was in the basket with whatever book goes with it. And the parents had everything they needed, and then the stations were all around my classroom. So the first station was actually with my assistant, and she did the milk makers. And then this is an extra book. We didn't have this one today because I let one of the other teachers borrow it. So we did all of the Gail Gibbons books that I have. So that was kind of like a milk station, but not really. She actually made, this is leftovers, but she actually had eggs and biscuits that I made this morning. They had milk to drink, and then they could also choose between sausage or bacon, and she brought in her little electric griddle and she cooked the eggs. The kids helped crack the eggs and helped mix the eggs, and then bacon or sausage and biscuits and milk, and that was their snack in one of their stations. And then while in that station, she read all about the cows and like how we get milk. One station was the chicken station. So there was this Gail Gibbons, Chicks and Chickens, and then I actually have an extra book that I let another teacher borrow, and so this is just an alternative book. They actually made two crafts. They made a little chick and an egg with a yellow cotton ball and Google eyes and a nose. They made a chick. They just had a square paper and they cut it out in any shape they wanted, and then they put some wings on there with some feathers. And I actually let them choose between yellow, tan, white, red, even different colored hens, and then I only had white and yellow feathers, but they got to do that and choose their color chick or chicken, and then their chicks were all yellow. One station was the pig station, so I have this book. An alternative book might be that one. This is actually, I can't find my sample. This is actually one of my students that did this today. So they cut out the body, they cut out the feet, they curled the tail either with a pair of scissors or with their pencil, and I had, the grown-ups helped with that. They cut out the nose from a different color paper, Google eyes and ears, and then they had kind of like watered down brown paint that they just kind of put on there for the mud. I think we're going to go back and like write a sentence that says, like, using sight words and stuff that says like, "This is my pig," or "This is a pig in the mud," or something like that. We're going to write some kind of sentence on it, I think. My station was the Scarecrow station. I did not actually read my book because I didn't have time, but I read this after everything else was done, and I read this to the whole class. I love Cynthia Rylant. She is definitely a poet when it comes to her writing. So anyway, we made scarecrows, and this is very, very involved. This is my sample, but they cut out the shirt, They cut out their own head, they cut out their own hat in whatever shape they want, and some of them come out pretty interesting. And then I teach them how to make like this fringe and glue it on the back like this, and that is pretty complicated for kindergarten. We glue on a stick, and then they get to pick out some buttons and glue on the buttons, and then I taught them how to draw the face. And this is actually part of a bigger project. We're going to add this later onto this green paper, and we're going to add it onto the side, and then we're going to add rows, and we're going to use beans and make patterns out of the beans in the rows to plant the garden and make patterns, because we're working on patterns in math right now. So we're going to kind of like add this to it. And then this was the sheep station. These are the only non-Gail Gibbons books other than the Scarecrow that I have. Everything else is Gail Gibbons. And so they have from sheep to sweater and from cotton to t-shirt, because this is the one that I was focusing on, was the sheep to sweater. And then I actually have some, I got this from, you know, one of the other kindergarten teachers, but this is sheared wool. It's still dirty and everything. This has washed wool, carded, where it's been combed out and detangled and then spun into yarn, and the kids get to feel all of them and see them all, and it's pretty neat. And then because we make a little sheep with their hand, you'll see that's actually my hand right there. They make a sheep with their hand and a Google eye, and we use the cotton, and because we're using cotton, it's very similar to wool, but it's not quite wool. So I do have this one for them to see it, and then there's actual cotton, still cotton flowers, so that they can see how it comes from the plant. This is an hour and a half. We have maybe about 15 minutes, maybe a little bit longer per station. It's a lot of fun, and the kids do a lot of learning about all the different kind of animals. Last week we also took a field trip to the farm, so we were able to tie in the last couple of weeks. We spent more time last week learning about the life cycle of a pumpkin, and more about like plants a little bit. Not quite our plant unit yet, but pumpkins, and this week was more about the animals and workings of the farm. So for 2 weeks we've been doing farms, so it's been a lot of farm lately. So leave me a comment down below, let me know what you think. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you are not already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!